Good evening. The owners of a dog who died after competing at Crufts in Birmingham have said there is no doubt that he was poisoned. Jagger was a 3-year-old Irish setter who was co-owned by a breeder in Leicestershire. They think he was given poison beef by a member of the public, as Michael Sibbert reports.
Not just a show dog, but a much-loved family pet. Jagger came second in his class at Crufts at the weekend, but while he was there, he was poisoned, according to his owners. Shortly after returning home, he collapsed and died. Although the Irish setter lived in Belgium, he was co-owned by breeders based in Leicestershire. Today, they were still clearly coming to terms with Jagger's death.
Absolutely devastated. I just think it's some person with a grudge against dogs or the show. That's what, anyway.
Why do you think it's not a breeder, sir?
They wouldn't do something like that.
Later in the day, the couple spoke to the gathered media outside their home in Kilby and reiterated their belief that they had no doubt that Jagger was poisoned, but didn't think it was by a fellow competitor.
I've done this to raise awareness of the heinous crime that took place, which resulted in the death of Jagger. I would like to thank everyone from around the world also very much for your overwhelming support, messages and kind words. I therefore need you all to know that we can't and we won't think this was an act of another exhibitor. If we thought this, we couldn't go on.
Please now let us grieve the loss of our lovely Jagger.
The breeders in Belgium, where the 3-year-old lived, have modelled their kennels on the box set up in Leicestershire. They describe Jagger as a member of the family and a best friend to their son.
We do not want to think this was an act of a fellow exhibitor. Hopefully Jagger was just the wrong dog on the wrong place on the wrong time. We would like to thank everyone from around the world also very much for your overwhelming support, messages, calls and kind words in these hard times.
The competition at Crufts is watched by tens of thousands of members of the public every year. And in a video statement released by the organisers, the Kennel Club, they say it's too early to determine what happened.
We've spoken to his owners and our heartfelt sympathies go out to them. We understand that the toxicology report is due next week, but until that time we cannot know the cause of this tragedy.
West Midlands Police say they haven't been approached by their counterparts in Belgium to assist with any investigation. They're still waiting for the results of those toxicology tests to find out for sure that Jagger was poisoned. Michael Sibbert, ITV News.
Aston Villa could be fined by the Football Association after 2 pitch invasions during Saturday's FA Cup quarter-final match at Villa Park. Home fans rushed onto the pitch during injury time and again after seeing their side win 2-0. However, there's also been criticism of the opponent's supporters. West Bromwich Albion fans had already been beaten by Villa earlier in the week, and trouble flared as a second defeat looked likely. Andy Bevan reports.
Aston Villa were seconds away from a trip to Wembley and a place in the FA Cup semi-finals when partway through 5 minutes of injury time, this.
Oh, we've got fans on the pitch here, the game's still going on.
The referee stopped the game, but it resumed after the Villa fans cleared the pitch. 2 minutes later, the final whistle secured their second victory in a week over arch-rivals West Bromwich Albion, and this time the pitch was swamped. This morning, mainstream and social media were buzzing with opinions and comments from both sets of supporters. But Dave Woodall, editor of Heroes and Villains, Aston Villa's online fanzine, was unrepentant about what happened.
Anyone who saw what happened on Saturday at the end of the game would know that was just nonsense. That pitch invasion, there was no malice intended. It was just pure celebration of what was a fantastic, memorable day.
In a statement, Aston Villa said, "We're very disappointed that what should have been a very memorable and proud moment for our fans was marred by the actions of those who could not control themselves. They've let both themselves and their club down." In theory, the FA could remove Aston Villa from this year's FA Cup competition, but that is unlikely. However, they could impose a fine on the club. Similar fines to other clubs have been high, some more than £100,000. Many people today, though, are saying both sets of supporters behaved badly. West Brom fans allegedly tore up seats and threw them over balconies, some hitting Villa fans below. One posted this picture on Twitter of his injuries. And in other parts of the stadium, Baggies fans filmed themselves setting off fire extinguishers and throwing waste bins while chanting their team's songs. West Brom fan Dave Woodhall is a former club steward and now runs a goalkeeper development scheme. Yes, he does share his name with the Heroes and Villains editor, and he admits some Baggies fans behaved badly. He wasn't at Saturday's game, but blames the pitch invasion on those in charge.
And it was like a throwback to the 70s. I didn't see a massive police presence there, and it always had the potential to kick off. It really did.
Police made 17 arrests for public order offences during their match operations, and 2 people have been charged after a disturbance at the Whitton Arms pub close to Villa Park just before the match started. In a statement, West Bromwich Albion said today any supporter found guilty of disorder offences can expect the appropriate sanction from the club. West Bromwich Albion will continue to operate zero tolerance to any fans who bring the club's reputation into disrepute. It seems that despite a 2-0 win for Aston Villa on Saturday, this match left the reputations of both clubs at 0-0. Andy Bevan, ITV News.
Meanwhile, a Watford fan remains critically ill in hospital after being attacked near the Wolverhampton Wanderers Stadium on Saturday. The man, named as Nick Cruz, suffered a serious head injury as he left the Molineux following Wolves' match against Watford. A fundraising page in his name has been set up. A quick preview now of a special edition of ITV News Central at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, because we've been hearing from school, college and academy students across the region about the upcoming general election. I've been asking them and a number of guests why voting levels amongst this age group are so low and what issues they want to see in a youth manifesto. Let's hear from one young lady who I know does believe that voting at 16 is a good idea. And just very quickly, why do you believe that?
Personally, I think that the voting age should be lowered to 16 because as young people, we may only make up 20% of the population, but we do make up 100% of the future. And I think that it's very important that we should get the chance to define decisions, to take decisions that do influence our future. I think it's quite ridiculous that as a young person you can marry your MP but you cannot vote for your MP.
Okay, so you can marry your MP at 16 but you can't vote for them. So that's a special edition of ITV News Central tomorrow from 6 o'clock, the election school debate. And there's lots more online during the day on our website too. Just go to itv.com/central and you see we even have our own social media hashtag ITV School Debate, and we look forward to you getting in touch with your thoughts. Well, some sports now. Aston Villa will face either Blackburn or Liverpool in the semi-final of the FA Cup. It'll take place at Wembley on the weekend of the 18th and 19th of April. They'll play the winner of either Blackburn or Liverpool, who play their replay on April the 7th. The Cheltenham Festival starts tomorrow, but many visitors arrived at the weekend, some having booked their accommodation a year ago. It's estimated that more than 230,000 racegoers will attend the 4-day event. And this year, for the first time, parking is to be made free in the town centre during the festival from 1 o'clock each afternoon.
Really to encourage people to come into the town centre at a time when we think that people may believe there's no point coming as it's so busy. In fact, during those times, everybody's at the racecourse. So the town is a good place to go to. It's peaceful and people will be able to get on with their shopping.
And finally, rewards are often offered when people find a lost item, and very few would object to them accepting it. However, when 12-year-old Josh Brown from Alvechurch in Worcestershire found Shauna Higginbottom's smartphone, he refused her mother's offer of a £20 reward, and instead he left her a note asking her to do something nice for someone else. Well, earlier on ITV News Central, Josh joined us on the sofa.
Just the right thing to do, and sort of taking the money and just leaving. Yeah, there have been loads of comments and saying how nice it was and how good it was.
What's in store for today? ITV Local Weather, sponsored by Centre Parks.
Hello again. Well, we do have more rain in the forecast as we head through this week, but the weekend so far isn't looking too bad. It's looking quite settled, and tomorrow, plenty of sunshine on the cards. Tonight, the cloud and rain is clearing away. Temperatures dipping quite low with these clear skies, so a touch of ground frost possible. The wind easing as well. And tomorrow, well, gorgeous sunshine to start the day. We'll hold on to that through the morning as well. It's in the afternoon. We'll start to see, with the next weather front approaching, the clouds building a little bit. But on the whole, a dry and sunny afternoon, and with lighter winds, it's just going to feel much milder. Bye for now.
ITV Local Weather, sponsored by Centre Parks.
And that's it from us for this evening. From the Late Team, good night.